What's up everyone, Mr. NoobTube Gamer playing Call of Duty World War II in the year 2020. Wow, I can't believe this game is already 3 years old. But here we are playing on the Xbox One. I know a lot of you PlayStation guys are really excited because the game is free on PlayStation Plus for the month of June, which is really cool that you guys got that. I mean, it doesn't affect me because I have all the Call of Duty games, but for those of you who haven't played Call of Duty World War II and you're on PlayStation, ooh, June is going to be a good month for you because it's a really solid game. It had a lot of problems at launch, but it's gotten so much better after the April 2018 update where the game saw a pretty big overhaul and it became a much better game as a result. So if you played the game a lot back in the day and you're like, oh my god, this game is terrible, I really don't want to play it, it's a much different game now after that update than it was at launch. So that's one thing. But there's a little bit of a catch though. So I'm playing on Valkyrie, which is a DLC map, and I have to say that the launch maps, kind of like Call of Duty Ghosts, are some of the worst maps that I've played in the entire Call of Duty series. Fucking Gustav Cannon and USS Texas, Gibraltar. I mean, most of these maps that came with the game are trash. So if you're playing this game, I know it's free on the PlayStation, so a lot of people are excited about that, but just just come in with pretty low expectations because the gunplay is great, everything else is solid, but the maps, oh my god. The maps that came with the game are terrible. So if you're coming into this game for the very first time, definitely prepare yourself mentally for that because you're going to be really frustrated. You're going to throw your controller against the wall. Well, maybe not really, unless you have serious anger problems, but you know what I mean. Like, it's a really frustrating game because the maps, the flow of the maps are terrible and it's just not fun. So the only really good maps that you'll have come out of the Season Pass and the DLC. So just prepare yourself for that. And maybe if the game's free on PlayStation now, some people may be more willing to spend $50 on the Season Pass. I don't know if the Season Pass is going to be on sale. I'm not exactly sure. But you know how it is with the older Call of Duty games, is that the prices never go down. So it's really annoying. But hey, $50 for a good time. I mean, I think it's a good value if you didn't pay for this game, if you got it for free on PlayStation Plus. It's weird. I guess the reason why we don't get this kind of thing on Xbox is because the deal that Activision and Sony have. But, hey, I mean, Modern Warfare Remastered was free a couple of years ago. Now it's Call of Duty World War II. I think they should make, like, Infinite Warfare free or Call of Duty Ghost free because those are really some underrated Call of Duty games that I think more people should get their hands on. But going back to World War II, I definitely have to commend Sledgehammer for really making a big effort to try to fix the game, and it's really a shame that they got taken out of the development cycle. I don't know if that's temporary, so I'm sure we all know what's going on with the next Call of Duty game that was originally supposed to be made by Sledgehammer because World War II came out in 2017, so 3 years later, 2020, it would be Sledgehammer's turn, but now Treyarch's making it, and it's supposedly called Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, which I think is one of the worst names in Call of Duty history, next to Infinite Warfare, so I really hope that's not the actual name of the game. And I don't know if it's going to be really good because it seems like the game is in development hell right now, that it's really struggling, because Sledgehammer was working on it and they couldn't finish it by themselves, so Treyarch had to step in and kind of take over the lead of the project, and I think Sledgehammer's still working on the game, but it's like a collaboration, I don't know, between Treyarch and Sledgehammer, so maybe it'll be temporary, I don't know, but it doesn't seem like it. It looks like we're going to go back to the 2-year cycle between Treyarch and Infinity Ward, which is going to suck because that means the developers are not going to have as much time as they really need to make the games as good as they have to be. So I'm kind of worried about that we're going back to the 2-year cycle because, I mean, we've already had a problem with games not really being as well refined as they should be. Now that developers have even less time to finish their games, it really concerns me. So I hope that the next Call of Duty game isn't so bad. But Call of Duty World War II, it took them a while to fix it, but they finally did. I know for a lot of people, this game was the first World War II Call of Duty game that they've ever played because the last one we got was World at War, which came out back in 2008. So for most people, I think, this is their first experience with World War II in the Call of Duty series. I think it's kind of cool they went back to World War II, especially with people being tired of the whole futuristic advanced movement bullshit that we had for a few years. And we talked about that in our last video. Last video we talked about Infinite Warfare, and then before that we talked about Advanced Warfare. So this was a breath of fresh air for a lot of people, and it still holds up today. The gameplay is really fun. I'm using my machine gun. I'm doing really good in this game, which usually I don't do as good in this game for some reason. Maybe because the flow of the maps are just all over the place. I'm always getting shot in the back and all this weird shit. But I lost that gunfight fair and square, so I can't really complain. But the machine gun in this game, I mean, I have never enjoyed using machine guns as much as I have in this game. And there's just so much versatility. There's so many great weapons in this game. You can do submachine, assault, machine gun. You have a lot of snipers. You have a lot of shotguns, especially these people with their flaming shotguns, which is really annoying. It's kind of the modern version of the noob tube with how cheesy it is. And this is coming from someone that noob tubes. I'm not noob tubing in this game, but you know, my name is Mr. Noob Tube Gamer, so I really can't complain about flaming shotguns, because the noob tube is definitely the worst thing in Call of Duty, let's be honest. Even though I love using it, it's really cheap. But Call of Duty World War II definitely has a lot to offer. If you've never played this game before, I think you're really going to enjoy it, because, I mean, the recent Call of Duty games we've had was what? Modern Warfare, which is just, doesn't really replicate that arcade experience that we know and love from the Call of Duty series. I mean, 6v6 in Modern Warfare is trash. Black Ops 4 with all the specialists and everything, that game is just a clusterfuck. So World War II is really the last Call of Duty game that really went true to the roots of the Call of Duty series. So I think a lot of people, especially the old school Call of Duty fans, will really appreciate that. But even if you're not, I mean, this game, in my opinion, is more enjoyable than Black Ops 4 or Modern Warfare. It's just, the gunplay is very satisfying. I think the hit detection's okay, not the best. I think Infinite Warfare and Ghosts probably have the best hit detection in the Call of Duty series, and Modern Warfare is just really inconsistent. But this game is really fun, and it's really well balanced. There are supply drops, but it's not as bad as the Treyarch games like Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4, where most of the good weapons are locked behind supply drops. It's actually a lot more fair in this game than most of the other Call of Duty games. But I just have to say, I really love the gunplay in this game. It definitely has the best gunplay than a lot of the Call of Duty games that we've had in recent years. It's a really great game. The single-player campaign is amazing if you're into that kind of stuff. I know World War II has kind of been overdone, so if you played a lot of the World War II shooters back in the day, it's probably nothing special. But you also have zombies, which is hit or miss for a lot of people. You know, most people just really love Treyarch zombies and don't really care much for anyone who's not Treyarch making anything zombies. But I'd say the zombies is okay. It's something that you're going to appreciate, especially if it's free. I mean, it can't hurt to just play around with it for a little bit, because if you're on PlayStation, you know, you get, for the month of June, it's free on PlayStation Plus. But I'm on Xbox One, and you still have a lot of players on there, so if you're on Xbox and you want to join in on the fun, you still have full lobbies in pretty much every game mode, which is incredible. And look, the noob tuber gets noob tubed. That's karma, bitch. But I have to say that World War II is overall a pretty solid game. The gunplay is great, the shooting mechanics are great, and most of everything except for the map layout is great. Like I said, on Xbox One, you can find full matches, no problem. I'm sure it's going to be even more so with the PlayStation, with the game being free all month. PC is pretty dead, so if you want to get it on PC, I'd probably recommend against it. I mean, I think that you still can find some matches, but it's not going to be nearly as populated as the consoles. But all in all, Call of Duty World War II is a really fun game. You should definitely check it out. It's not as fun without the DLC because, like I said, the base maps are terrible, but the gunplay is great. The division system, the creator class, even the score streaks, people like to shit on them, say they're not powerful enough, but I actually kind of prefer it that way. But anyway, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all later. Bye.